And welcome back to the Valley Preferred Cycling Center. Jim Kripke along with Jason Graver covering juniors and international cyclists tonight. It's been exciting out here at the Velodrome. And Jason, of course, we just had something happen, a crash. We haven't had any all season and really did not want any. But both riders did get up and walk away. But now you got these guys getting ready to go out on the track. What's going through their minds?
Jim, Travis Smith from Canada coming back from a really bad injury. He broke his pelvis a little while ago. He was rehabbing that for a long time, just getting back on the track, getting back in shape. He was racing in the 9th through 16th place of the men's keirin here. Kind of touched wheels, knocked around a little bit, and ended up crashing in the first turn there. Pretty bad crash. Now these guys, that are on the track, they're racing for first place here after seeing that. I don't know, a little jittery maybe, and it's not something that you see often. And boy, when you're about to get on the track to do exactly the same event, it makes you a little nervous.
Man, we've done hundreds of races, and that's one thing you always mention at points during the broadcast is the safety aspect of the riding, and all the riders are aware of what they need to do, and you've talked a couple times about being in the proper laneage, and you know that doesn't prevent anything like that from happening to the riders.
Yep, that's right. And these are professional athletes. They're out here training every day. They practice this all the time, but still sometimes bad things happen, like we just saw.
This isn't NASCAR, folks. They aren't trying to bump one another and make for good coverage. These guys realize, and you were mentioning actually, Jason, before the show that most common injury is breaking clavicle, I think.
Yep, breaking a collarbone is one of the most common injuries here that a cyclist can have. We should say that Travis Smith stood up and walked away. That's a good thing. Had a little broken helmet there. Helmet did its job, though, and we hope that Travis is okay.
And did go down there in the infield, and it was nice to see both riders getting up and walking off under their own power. But I give the track personnel a lot of credit. The riders did not move. I'm sure they waited until everything was going to be safe in the best interest of the riders, that they could get up and move on their own power.
Velodrome always has the best emergency personnel here. They're always ready to go. In fact, the guy that kind of heads that up is a cyclist himself, so he knows how important it is to make sure that the riders are taken care of.
And we're going to have 6 laps here again. We see our motorcycle out there for the keirin, setting the riders into their proper positions. They'll be on the track for 4 laps, and then the riders will do the last 2 on their own. As we go tonight for the gold, the Australian team, we see them out there, and I think they did well, if I remember, in the first heat.
We have 4 Australians in this final race here. 2 of them at the front. We have Roberto Chiappa, who's sitting 3rd wheel. I believe that's Andy Lakatos, 4th wheel. And then we have 2 more Australians.
Now, could there be strategy right there, going 1, 2, and 4, 5?
Definitely. Looks like they have Roberto Chiappa. He's like the meat in the Australian sandwich there. Chiappa has to keep an eye on the Australians in front of him, and he's got to kind of keep an eye on the Australians behind him, too.
And if you look there, when he was coming down in turn 3, he definitely knows where they are, because he looked back under his arm to check out where the other 2 Aussies were, and they are behind him.
It's kind of frustrating for him. He is the fastest guy. There's no doubt about that. He won the match sprint on Tuesday night very easily, qualified with the top time. He did not lose a single heat. He's definitely the fastest guy on the track. The problem for him is in the keirin, he's got 4 teammates that are working against him.
And here they go. They're heading into turn 2. They're going to jockey for position. Somebody trying to make a move now from the back down low. And here comes, is that one of the Australian riders already?
That's one of the Australians. You see what the other Australian did there riding 2nd wheel. He kind of backed off a little bit, let a gap open up between him and his teammate. Chiappa now kind of gets boxed in a little bit.
And Barczewski boxed him in now coming up into that lane. So Chiappa back, but see if he makes his move like he did last time. The Aussies now back in a bunch right in front of the pack.
Chiappa's riding this from behind. Maybe wants to stay out of all the chaos here. Now he hits the gas with 1 lap to go. The Italian going over the top. We're 3 high coming into the 3rd turn. Chiappa now hits the gas. Nobody in front of him. Easily comes across the finish line. Finally, Chiappa wins a keirin here at the Velodrome.
You know, amazing. You could see him playing. They thought they had him boxed in. You can't do it any better than that. He broke that better than Walter Payton going through the pack, and you can just see him coming down the backstretch. And there, the Australian, you see a nice pat on the back.
Look at this. I think the Australians are looking around saying, what the heck just happened here? We had 4 guys in this race. We still couldn't hold back the Italian. Chiappa comes over the top. Look at this, Jim. At the end, there's 2 bike lengths between him and the guy in second place.
And gives a wave to the crowd and puts up a #1, and definitely came through both of those races. Jason came from behind to take it.
He was sitting second from the back, just watching everything, just staying out of trouble. Knew he was the fastest guy. Unbelievable. He's got that much speed, that much power to come over the top like that.
And there is Chiappa. He is going to take it, even though the Aussies had a good game plan intact that they could not quite carry it out, couldn't box him in enough. He makes it around, and you see the helmet coming off, and there is the Italian rider.